Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. To anybody who actually listens to this, um, I've been thinking a lot. I guess I always am, but um, I was. I've been thinking a lot in the last month or so about ideas in moral philosophy. Um, I came to California to try to, get away from um, my divorce, something that um, was very fair and very, I guess, it was not antagonistic. But still, I was like, I gotta do something else. I thought about moving back to New York or moving to New Orleans or Seattle or the Bay Area. I settled on Los Angeles, and it has been an interesting ride. I can tell you that much. Um, but in the process of that, I've had to really think about. Um, I mean, I've made friends, which is great. Like I've met a lot of wonderful people here. But being taken out of your normal context and put into a different one gives you an opportunity to think about um, a lot of these existential things, like what is the purpose, what is the meaning, what am I trying to accomplish here? And so I've thought about that a lot. I got involved with a local mutual aid group, and I thought that was very worthwhile. I met some very cool people through that. um, but I have gotten to a point where I'm trying to figure out um, what am I actually trying to do here? I mean, teaching is very important to me, and I think that's valuable. I really do. Um, it's one of the only things that really gives me a sense of purpose or meaning. Um, but beyond that, you do start to get to a point in your life where I thought I was fighting for social justice, all this activism, all this campaigning for political candidates. It used to be easy to um, kind of believe that, but as I've gotten to this new phase in my life, I really find myself asking, what was this just about your own career advancement? Was this just about you trying to gain status or get an economically more secure position? Um, and maybe did you just dress it up in moral language because it felt better to say that, oh, this was about a moral crusade, this was about a social justice thing or something. um, the last couple years, at least since 2020, I've been asking myself that a lot. And it's you sit down and you can lie in bed with your thoughts and wander around your memory palace and all that. But then you start thinking, what was I like? What was I truly trying to change things or make things better for people? Um, I don't know. I'm at that point where I really need to be clear with myself about what I'm doing. Um, I think that most of the work that I've done up to this time was well intentioned and done in good faith, but um, I really am kind of a little bit lost at sea about what the deeper meaning or purpose is. My experiences in LA have definitely contributed to that because I've seen a different side of life that um, I wasn't that as acquainted with before. People who are kind of living on the margins of society. And not that that's new to me. I mean, I grew up with like extremely poor people, so it's not totally new. But people, are dealing with pretty serious substance abuse issues who haven't had like what most people would consider like a normal career. That's almost all of the people that I've met here. And yeah, I mean, like all of this has just come together in a way that I'm trying to like figure out what is the lodestar, what is the sort of morning star, or whatever it is, the like North Star, I don't know, that you follow. Um, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I don't have a good answer. If I'm going to continue being a professor, if I'm going to continue like writing and researching, I want it to be for something. Like, um, it's not just putting in billable hours. um, so yeah, I mean that's been on my mind a lot, and I've been thinking about like the philosophy of John Rawls, his idea of the original position, and just his general framework of how he saw moral philosophy or social philosophy. Um, this idea, which Rawls put forth, which I think is a really valuable thought experiment, um, that like, what if we didn't know where we were going to land? What if, we were all living in a pre-life state, like in the Pixar movie Soul? What if we were all little bubbles that were living in, and also kind of more or less identical, and we didn't know if we were going to be a Bavarian prince or a black single mother in southern Chicago, um, or who knows, like, or an electrician in Montana. Like, if you didn't know exactly where you were going to land in the whole situation, what kind of society would you want to devise? And I think this, I know Rawls probably has his critics, but like, it seems like a pretty ingenious thought experiment. I think that it makes people take into account their own privilege or lack of privilege, and to contemplate. I mean, we would have a world without royalty for sure. Um, Anybody who is in that pre-life state would just be like, yeah, like, let's not let there be Elon Musk's or Bill Gates. Let's not let there be Cabrini Green or Prudigo. Like, let's not let there be so much, insane, uncontrollable privilege at the top, and let's not let there be this grinding, horrifying poverty and violence at the bottom. You would say like, well, some people probably are more motivated or maybe have more natural talents. Some people might do a little bit better than others. With that guy Nozick, there's a whole Wilt Chamberlain thing, I think. I don't know. But like, well, yeah, Chamberlain's just really good at basketball. He's tall and he has natural talents. Okay, fine. There are some people like that who are gonna like do better, and there are some people who kind of, maybe just want to like smoke weed and watch like sitcoms and or do gaming, and just kind of coast through life because that's what's meaningful to them. Um, you need a range. There are going to be, it's not like communism where everybody's exactly the same. Like, there are going to be some people who do a little better, and there are going to be some people who do a little worse, but like, you want it to be in a tighter range. And to me, that's what I always thought Rawls was saying, which is that, like, yeah, people are different. Everybody has an idiosyncratic personality, but you know, we don't want the highs to be so high, and don't want the lows to be so low. That's the basic concept of the welfare state and social democracy. I think Rawls made a very good philosophical argument for that. And so I've been thinking about that a lot, like, you know, in terms of my own family and my friends and community. Um, I don't know why I've been thinking about it that much, but um, in the end, this is a stupid video that no one should listen to. Oh, okay. Well, I was going to try to talk about this other thing, and my mind made a little blip. But, I've been thinking, I think about this almost every day. Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. I was recommended to read this book at a time in my life which was extremely bleak. And, in the book, Frankl was a psychologist who ended up in Auschwitz, I think. And, the whole story is about, like, the way you would describe it sounds very judgy and very, like, maybe even condescending. But I don't think that's the point at all. What Frankl was saying is that he was in Auschwitz, and there were some people who just completely gave up. They're like, I'm done. I'm out. I don't care. I can't get through this. There were some heartbreaking scenes that are reminiscent of Elie Wiesel's novel Night, which is so celebrated, where even like a father and his child who are like fighting over a scrap of bread. That's pretty devastating. Like, for anybody, and it's not their fault, but for anybody to be pushed to that point is heartbreaking. So, there are some people like Frankl who somehow found a way to get through it. There's a second group of people who, found themselves reduced to that kind of desperation in an effort to survive. And there's a third group of people who were just like, fuck it, I don't know. Like, I'm just not going to eat or drink. I'm out. This is done. It's not worth trying. And I think every time I try to, like, talk about this, explain it to someone, it sounds really judgy, but it's not. What Frankl was trying to say is that he just noticed among his fellow concentration camp fellows that there were some people who found a way to get through it, and there were some people who didn't. And, he had some kind of will to live or some ideal or some optimism that made him able to deal with the fact of being in one of the worst circumstances anyone in human history has ever been in, right? So, I think about that all the time, and, especially at this point in my life where I'm kind of like not sure about what my purpose is. I don't know if I probably would not have been one of the people who got through it. I probably would have just completely just died. Like, I'm not saying I'm like one of the Frankl type people, but what he talked about, like, is, if you have some sense of purpose, if you have some commitment or belief about the future or optimism or, something you want to achieve or accomplish, or maybe it's a political ideology, I don't know. But, like, I think about that all the time. I think about that almost every day. And so, I've been thinking about it, and I honestly don't know the question and the answer. Like, I'm going to be leaving Los Angeles, like, relatively soon. Maybe not as soon as I would like, but in the next few months. And I'm in my early 40s. There's hopefully some runway left. I kind of don't think so, but um, just thinking about like what does a meaningful life look like, and can you even put into words or articulate like what makes your life worth living? Or I want to take care of my mom. That's my number one goal. Beyond that, if God forbid if she passes away, then I'm gonna be shit out of luck, because that's the one thing that like really keeps me motivated. Um, but you know, I've just been thinking about all these things, all these like philosophical, little tidbits circulating in my mind. But the fact remains that Dr. Viktor Frankl got through Auschwitz. I think I can get through LA. It's probably not very hard. Um, you know, I'm just thinking about these things, and I don't know if anybody else is interested in them, but that's what's been on my mind recently. And um, I hope that anybody who might watch this, maybe they're thinking about similar issues, or maybe they haven't crossed their mind before. But I imagine a lot of people are at a point in their life, whether they're 13 or 27 or 42 or 56, reflecting on these questions of like meaning and purpose. Um, I think about that constantly. And again, I clearly, no, it goes beyond saying that I don't have the answers. I'm as fucked up as basically anybody who's watching this, probably more, maybe less. It depends. But I just wanted to talk about it, think out loud. If anybody watches this video, thank you. If you have any thoughts or comments, I'd love to hear them. Um, that's it. I wish you the best.